Well, let me tell you something, brother. This might be the best OG Kush I've ever had. Ooh. Ooh, yeah. You just said a mouthful, brother. I'm higher than helicopter, but listen though, Hulkster. Younglurch has been running his mouth on that podcast. Blaze the Bingohall podcast needs to show some respect to the veterans, brother. I say we run in there and show Younglurch and his guest just exactly who the OGs of this game are, What you gonna do, Blaze the Bingohall podcast, when the Macho Man and the Hulkster run wild on you? Ooh, yeah. Give me like 10 minutes, though, because I'm really, really stoned. Oh, yeah.
Welcome back to the Bingohall, everyone. It's your host with the most, Younglurch. Today, we have one of the baddest men or women to ever step into the Bingohall and into the squared circle, Mickie effing Knuckles. Mickie, welcome to the Bingohall.
Thanks for having me. I love bingo.
Yeah, I know.
Let's pay out tonight.
420.
All right. Fantastic. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you on here. We're going to get right into it. So you've been called one of the toughest wrestlers alive, but outside the ring, people say that you're completely different. Do you like keeping that contrast between Mickie, the person in the ring, and Mickie outside of the ring?
I think it keeps me somewhat sane. I get to let my crazy fly when I'm in the ring, and then outside the ring, I get to go back to being just plain old Mickie, mom to the 3 little ones, but everybody else is just Aunt Mickie.
Yeah, I'm sure you kind of get to have that release when you're in the ring and you're performing, right? You know what I mean? Get to really turn things up
on show days. It's like the whole show day, even if it's a show week, show weekend, whatever. From the time I wake up, knowing that I have to go to work that day, I'm in a completely different mindset, and kind of have to be to survive this. I mean, we're pretty fucked, all of us, in our own little ways. You can read how fucked I am in my new book, but it's in there. Pretty blunt and honest and open. But I mean that's the only characteristic that carries through from the outside ring to the inside ring. Just a blunt, honest, open, don't really give a fuck anymore type of person. Of I say what I say, and I'll admit my faults and eat my crow when I have to. But at the other end of the rainbow, I'm not gonna let you say some dumbass shit and mean I have to have anything to counterbalance that. So.
Oh yeah. Fans say that you connect with them in a way that many wrestlers do, but what do you think that most about that makes people want to ride through you through the highs and lows, like their connection with you?
It's that personability. I think that's a word. If not, I made it a word. It's the fact that, life's not perfect. The world's not perfect. Not one human being on this earth is perfect. Even Mother Teresa herself wasn't perfect. With that being said, it's okay not to be okay. And I think the fact that I accept people how they are, who they are, as long as you treat others how you want to be treated, you try to be a decent person, me and you can get along great. And I think with wrestling fans, they want to forget about their shitty fucking days, their shitty fucking week, their shitty job, shitty relationship, the shit that they have to go through with their kids, especially if they're teenagers. Guys, I feel you. Got a 12-year-old.
I have an 18-year-old.
Oh, shocks me sometimes. I just have to look at her. I'm like, who are you talking to like that? Like, you talking crazy. I'm going to go in the other room. You better calm yourself. But no, I think them just feeling that, we're regular people too, with a really, really high pain tolerance and a taste for the crazy that, kind of goes hand in hand with this business. But I'm a mom. I have kids. I'm a normal person. I've been through highs. I've been through lows. Mentally, I'm not okay, but that's okay. I think being open and honest and upfront with people, and then letting them in as much as, they want you to come in as well. Having that connection with them is important. I mean, look at Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes was the best about making connection with the fan base. He didn't even have to be near you. You could be watching him through your television screen, and he would look at that camera, and you felt like whatever he said, whatever he was feeling, it was going straight to you. That's something special about some wrestlers, is that they have that ability. to connect. And I'm just lucky enough that the fan base I connect with is just like me. I mean, we're just alike. Just I'm a little bit nuttier. Really high pain tolerance. Really high pain tolerance. But yeah.
Take us to the moment when you step through the curtain. What does that adrenaline rush feel like to you?
Depends on the crowd. There's a couple of different rushes. You get the normal regular wrestling match adrenaline rush when you come through. You can usually tell what type of crowd it's going to be by their reactions to you. So if I walk out and I've got more of a laughy, fun, just everybody having a good time, I call that the dirty Aunt Mickie, where I could just, I'm going to tell some dirty jokes. It's going to be cool. It's going to be fine. Everybody's going to get through this. It's going to be fun. And then as opposed to coming through the curtain with deathmatch wrestling fans, which I've always said deathmatch wrestling fans, even if they go to regular wrestling matches, don't act like they do at regular wrestling matches like they do at deathmatch wrestling.
Nope.
It's more of a primal, just like a
release,
aggressive, beastly reaction. And that electricity will just, you'll OD on that electricity. That electricity is what you wake up for on deathmatch days, especially tournament days. I'm like, all right, there's 3 rounds in this tournament. Go all 3 rounds with deathmatch fans. You can get through it. You can get through it because it's all that fucking electricity they're pumping into your body. It's that adrenaline. It's that constant high from the time you get there. You see the weapons, and you engage with them, and you see how excited they are. And it's like I don't have a dick, despite many people thinking I have or had. But it's like what I would imagine if electricity struck the tip of your dick. That's how intense that electricity is.
Wow. Yeah, that's definitely a good way to put it. But I can definitely understand like that connection and that like you said, what they're kind of like carrying you through some of it. You know what I mean? Because you're like, all right, we're gonna get through this together. It's like I've been a fan of deathmatch wrestling for a long time, but going to shows, I've just started going to shows like this year. Yes. Yeah. And I love that you said that it's different compared to like the family friendly shows, because I go to those with my son and my family. And it's like, I'm sometimes like, just sitting there, it's like, oh, you're not bored, but like, you can't say the things that like normally you would want to say at like deathmatch stuff where you can just like
spring and twist his dick at a family friendly show would be so well received as it is at a deathmatch show.
That's what's funny is me and my wife will say to each other like, oh, yell out dick twist or something, like just as like a joke in between each other, because it's like those moments where you want to yell something, but it's like, oh, we can't. But it's definitely
read the room. Yeah.
yeah. There's definitely that difference. So it's but yeah, it's definitely fun to have that mix.
The thing that fucked me up though is there's been some family friendly shows, because I do non-deathmatch shows too. I just really like doing deathmatch shows. It's just a preference. But there are some friendly, non-deathmatch shows I've done where I've wrestled somebody and they start chanting "twist his dick," and for about 25 seconds, I forget the boundaries of my controlled chaos. It gets a little bit bigger at that moment. I'm like, oh, twist his dick, huh? This is that kind of party. All right, I got some stuff over here. Let me figure this out.
Yeah, I've seen that too, though. I've seen the family friendlies, like, maybe usually sometimes it's someone who's not a regular that shows up at one of those shows and they start yelling some obscene stuff. And you're like, oh, whoa, what's going on over here? This one's getting a little out of control.
Let me tell you a story real quick that involves my kids, because I told you I'm a mom. So every once in a while, my kids will go to wrestling shows, not the deathmatch stuff. I tried not to. They've talked me into a couple of them. Even then, I've got to like, they understand, but still, it's not something I take them to. My youngest, my son, who's now 9, would sneak and watch me on IWTV. When everybody else was asleep, he'd come in the living room because I've got IWTV in my living room.
Oh, yeah.
Or he'd like sneak behind the couch when everybody else is watching it and be like, I'm not even home. And he's just watching me in live action on I call him later. I'm like, hey, buddy, I'm good. He's like, I know, I saw. What? What do you mean you saw?
Like, damn it.
So I took him to the wrestling show that's nearby. It's a family friendly place. A lot of kids. And I was wrestling a guy. And the story was he didn't want to get in the ring and wrestle a girl. He didn't feel comfortable wrestling a girl. It was beneath him to wrestle me because I was a female, right? The normal. Mm-hmm. And crowd starts chanting. Now, mind you, I was explicitly told no cursing. I said, okay, I'll do my best. If I fuck up, because I curse a lot,
Right.
I will try to retract as fast as possible. I'll put a quarter in the jar, whatever I got to do. Get in the ring. I was really proud of myself. I did not curse, not one time. I'm on the microphone. I'm getting the crowd to call him chicken and stuff. Next thing you know, the whole crowd, including kids, are chanting pussy at this man. Mind you, I'm a wrestler too. And I'm like, oh, okay. So the crowd's chanting pussy. I'm just doing the Tracy Smothers dance to it. I'm not saying it. I'm keeping true to my word. The guy's on the outside throwing his little tantrum. Gets really quiet, and out of nowhere, I hear a voice say, "Can I say it?" Right? Didn't know who it was. Wasn't paying attention. I was in wrestling mode. I said, "We're at a wrestling show. You can say whatever you want." And as I turned around to make eye contact with the voice, the body the voice was coming from, it was my baby boy's deep brown eyes looking at me. And he got the biggest shitting grin. Now, have you ever seen Kevin Hart's special where he talks about his kids screaming?
I don't think so.
This little, I love my son with all my heart. He's my love of my life. He puts one foot back to brace himself, throws his shoulders back, and at the top of his lung goes, right? I couldn't think of anything else to do at that moment. So literally, I hand the microphone to the ring announcer, and I grab my chest, and I lay down. And I tell the guys on the ground, it's like, look, you ain't even got to arrest me. Just cover me. I'm a terrible mom. Oh, my God. I was like, somebody call CPS, call Child Protective Services, call a shrink, call a doctor, call a priest. I let the guy, that was the whole match, just let him hit me. I get out of the ring, my kid's like, Mom, what happened? I was like, you broke my heart. Oh, my God. Why did you say it? He's like, you said I could. I was like, I didn't know it was you.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah,
I was like, I can't even wrestle after that. How am I supposed to do this after that? I'm terrible. So, yeah.
My son tries to do the same stuff. Like if the crowds chant like shit or ass or something like that, he'll like try to hurry up and get in on it, or he'll look at us like, can I say it? You know what I mean? Or if he hears it on TV, he'll be like, oh, can I say it? Or he'll just hurry up and think that he can say it. Like, oh, you little bastard.
It's cute because my kids are still at the age where, like, I told him, I said, look, I'm not dumb. I know you curse. Okay, I'm not dumb. I know it's taboo. It's cool to curse. Here's what I'm going to say. Don't you ever curse at me or your dad. Don't ever curse at your parents, your grandparents, nobody like that. I said, and if you do it around another adult and they're looking at me, like there's eyes looking at me to do something, to reprimand you, you put me on the spot. I'm going to have to act accordingly.
Yeah. That's like my 2-year-old when she's still she's potty training right now, but when she poops, she goes, I shit. And we're like, oh, you pooped, and she's like, yeah, I shit. It's like, what do you do with that? You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
It's like, all right, yeah, you did.
How are you gonna be mad at that? I have a rule in my house too. If it makes me laugh, you can't be in trouble. And my kids are pretty witty and smart, and they make me laugh quite a bit.
Yeah.
When my daughter asked me if I'm a hoe. Like,
jeez.
No, what the? And then she's like, is dad a hoe? And I'm like, I'm not doing this. I laughed though. You can't be in trouble. Go to your room.
Yeah. It's one of those things where you
process accordingly.
Where it's like, get out of my face, and as soon as they leave, you're like laughing on the inside so they don't
can't be mad.
Yeah.
I feel wrong if I have to punish them if it's something that's funny. Just hysterical.
Yeah. I definitely feel you on that. Do you remember the first time you realized that wrestling was more than just performing, and that you could actually change how people saw you and saw wrestling itself?
Oh, that's a new one.
I know that was heavy. I know that was heavy.
Went real deep, real quick. Hold on.
Sorry, you pivoted for a second.
Love that process. I don't know all that. I would hope that if I have any influence, it would be a positive influence or a positive help or change. No, I've never thought of it about that like that. I feel like that would make me bigger than what I feel I am. I don't know. It's really weird. I have imposter syndrome real bad.
Okay. I can relate to that.
Yeah, when certain words get said, it makes me a little uncomfortable when I'm not in wrestling Mickey mode. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wrestling Mickey mode, I could use that to my advantage, but this Mickey mode, I'm like, nah, I don't know that.
No, I got you. And also I get it, like, as far as like, you're in the moment, like you're still in, you know what I mean, the thick of everything, so it's like hard to, kind of, I guess, process those types of like thinking about
I mean,
yourself?
I've had people reach out and tell me, you know, whether it's recently with the book, more so, but or if I did like a podcast and we talked about something that they experienced too, or they feel or they go through and shit, and it helped them better to process it themselves. Like that's always been a huge compliment. I'll always be grateful that I have a chance and opportunity to do something like that. Um, I would hope, anyways, that that it, like I said, if it has any reaction to your life at all, it's something positive.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I always say too. Like, since starting this, like, hey, if any of these conversations that anyone can relate or helps one person, like, to me, it was all worth it. You know, with
Yeah.
anything that we, I've discussed on here, like all kind of stories. So it's if, like I said, one person can take something from it, it's all worth it. So.
Mhm.
Looking back though, do you think do you think some of your toughest battles that you fought were in the ring or outside of the ring?
I think the toughest battles I fight are in my head.
Okay.
I'm in my head a lot. That's what I get told anyway.
So what you deal
Yeah.
with, like what we deal with in life, nothing compared to some of the crazy stuff you do and inside, like, deathmatch and things like that.
Deathmatch is you go into a deathmatch accepting things happen, accepting any and all responsibility with what's involved with that deathmatch. You understand you're gonna get cut. You understand you can get hurt. You understand something could go wrong. You understand that we're dealing with dangerous devices. We accept that. We see that and we know it's coming at us. Life doesn't. Life seems to be going calm. One moment, everything's fine, everything's going according to plan, things are moving along accordingly, and then immediately out of nowhere, something will happen. And so to deal with things in life that may happen, whether it's be through relationships, deaths, um, injuries, accidents, abuse, trauma, like no matter what you go through life, it hits you harder because you don't see it coming. Sometimes you don't even see it when it's happening.
Yeah.
It's something that's just happening, and then eventually you figure it out. And by the end of it, you feel so dumb you didn't notice. I take more comfort in death matches, if that says anything. That's how my brain works. I see my dangers coming at me with death matches. Real life, I don't. Nobody does, and that's unnerving to a lot of us. In death matches, we have a little bit more of a control on what type of situation we put ourselves into, and we do it like the craziest we can figure it out. But
yeah. Definitely some crazy shit that I know recently. I think I just seen a clip today that you had your tongue stapled with a dollar bill. Was that this weekend?
no, that was a couple weekends ago.
Okay.
I think my vagina stapled too.
Jesus.
A couple times. Yeah, they just stick it in wherever they want.
Jeez. But you were wrestling men long before it was common. What do you think motivated you to push for that?
First off, there wasn't a lot of females in the area, and females were always more expensive for the promoters to get than the men. They were considered a bells and whistles type deal. And so the few females that were brought around me, like Rain and Lacey, the Minnesota Home Wrecking Crew, and then there was also Mischief and Daisy Hayes. And they were all so good and so talented, but I'm sure they worked a lot of other places too. So I didn't have anybody to wrestle. And if I was like, dude, I don't care who it is. I'll get my butt kicked by whoever. Like, I just want to be in the ring. I'd have my gear. And a lot of times I lucked out. People would just no show and they had too many cancellations. And they were like, well, if you got your gear, fine, we'll let you try it this one time. And it was like through a lot of persistency of being there and being ready. And then as soon as I was given that opportunity, it was like, all right, here we go. And then doing everything I could during that opportunity to get them to understand that I didn't want special treatment. I didn't want to be treated like a princess. I just wanted to wrestle. Yeah. And I just wanted to be better and to work better people and to do better things. And it was just something I really wanted to do. I just wanted to be an equal person in this field with everybody else. And it's taken 24 years to get to that point. But persistence was really the key with that as well. You have to be consistently there. You have to be consistently showing up. You have to be consistently in the moment. You have to consistently go balls to the wall. I mean, there's a lot of, I mean, it's not just me. There's a lot of us wrestlers. We get told, well, hey, you should take it easy sometimes. Just take tonight as an easy night. And I'm like, you don't really know me too well. You don't really know our mentality. We don't take easy nights because when you take an easy night, that tells other people something. Either you can't do it anymore, you shouldn't be doing it anymore, or something's wrong. So we go along as business as usual.
Yeah. What kind of resistance do you think that you faced, amongst promoters, fans, or even wrestlers during that time?
A lot of people didn't like intergender matches, and I understood, and that's what I would communicate with them. I get it. I mean, I totally get it. You think, first off, it touches on the taboo subject of are you perpetuating a domestic violence situation? And it's almost to the point of, and I presented that, and I said I completely understand. Here's the thing. I'm walking into this knowing what I'm doing. I don't complain, and I give as good as I get. I will. If you hit me, I'm gonna hit you right back. Like that's just, this is gonna go. Women are much more vindictive, conniving, manipulating. Like we have a tendency. We have our strengths where other people's weaknesses may lay. And that's what I was trying to, I understand men magically or automatically, they're stronger than women. It's in their fucking testosterone. It's their hormones. And they're usually bigger than us. But if you can equal out the playing field by being stronger at things that they're not as strong as, it's just like if you read the Florida Man headlines, if you ever read those headlines in the newspaper, Florida Man,
Florida Man, Jersey Man, yeah.
So have you read the Florida Woman headlines? You ever read a Florida Woman headline? It always has something to do with the fact that she waited hours, days, weeks, months to get her fucking revenge on this motherfucker for something. Like, he looked at her sister in a seductive manner in December, and in April he finally fell asleep before she did. And she was able to castrate that man.
Some Lorena Bobbitt type shit.
Yeah, but she was vindictive enough to let him go the entire time, and the way she did it was so torturous. Like, that's how, like, we're like, all right, well, we hold on, we got it. That's why I try to present it. I know somebody's gonna knock me out. I've been knocked out before. If I get knocked out again, let me take the nap. I like naps now. Naps are a good thing. I love my naps now.
Yeah,
but I don't know. That was the main thing, was because it's believability, and you don't want to make people feel stupid and stuff. But I feel like the way that it's done with me, or the manner in which that I try to do the matches, I don't want anybody to ever feel that way. I want people to believe that there's a level here that I can at least somewhat reach or obtain and keep up, and I'll do my best.
Yeah. Funny that you brought that up, that some people get mixed up with like a domestic violence type of thing, because when I started going to shows again last year for the first time in like a long time, it was a family friendly show, and it was two women were competing, and then the one girl's faction came out, which had men in there, and they beat up the other girl, and they were stomping her down and beating her up. And one of the fans, he was a grown man, he like got all upset, and he was like standing up and was screaming and was like, "Oh, you're a woman beater," and all this other shit. He was like legit mad. Like, he was like, wanting to fight this wrestler. And it was just like, dude, like, you can't really like be serious. But it's like, sometimes, like, I guess people don't.
It pulls that emotion.
Yeah. And it's like,
people are emotional beings. That's part of being human. We're emotional.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah. Don't put your hands on a wrestler.
Yeah.
I've seen that
the thing was, the one that he was gunning for, I was like, oh boy, if this escalates, it's not gonna end good for him.
I saved a fan from getting his ass beat by Soraya Knight when I wrestled her.
Oh my god.
Wrestled her for CZW's group, WSU. She was whooping my ass, but we were outside, and the fan got so mad she was beating the fuck out of me that he went to do something about it, and she turned around and was ready. Like, if I hadn't grabbed her, you could talk to her about it. But if I hadn't grabbed her, she would have fucked that man up and probably went to jail. I was like, come here with me. I was like, dude, I just saved your life. Sit down. I got it. I got it. I'll figure it out.
We're gonna go over here.
Jesus. Like, I remember I was on the mat. I rolled in the ring. I was on the mat. I go to get up, and she starts waylaying me in the head with this kendo stick, beat my ass. I was like, ah, damn. We get in the bag, and she goes and kisses me. And I was like, okay. I guess that means we're friends now. You beat my ass and you kissed me. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
I have such a weird life.
Yeah. Instant friends.
It's huge different. Told her she's my favorite cunt. Brits love using that word cunt. That's their favorite word over there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Did you wrestle her over there, or was it in the States?
No, it's in the States. It was in near Philly, probably New Jersey or Pennsylvania, one of the two.
Okay. Do you
I was
think
almost sad. I thought I ran out all my reloads. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, that would be good. Do you think that intergender wrestling is more accepted now than when you first started?
Oh yeah, it's more common now. I was on the show this past weekend where there was 3 intergender matches.
Really?
Unheard of when I started. Like, I'm so happy. I'm happy if this is the opportunities we can do.
Yeah.
What to do with those opportunities is totally up to you. But if there's an opportunity like that on a show, yeah, that's a good sign.
I was going to ask you, where did you get the name Mickie Knuckles? But that is your legit shoot name, right?
Yeah, I was born Mickie Lee Knuckles.
That's pretty awesome. It's like, don't really need to think of a name, got a pretty badass name as it is. So,
well, the funny thing is so I started training. I told them my name was Mickie. They never asked me my last name, never gave it. Didn't think about it. Went through all of training, get ready to go debut, and after top class, we did a gauntlet, which was just all the trainers basically stretching or running or working out like the trainees, wearing them out. Like, it's long and it's nonstop. They tag out when they get tired, and you stay in the ring. And you take all this, and you have to work. Like with Hero, he would fold you up in a pretzel, and you'd have to get yourself out of it. And then as soon as you got out, he put you right back into something else. It was exhausting. And there was no air conditioning in this building. One big garage door in Southern Indiana in August. And they're talking about, or late July, August, and they're talking about me debuting. And we just got done with the gauntlet. They did the chop class, which after chop class, I was like black and purple from here to here. My nipples were bust open up here. It's crazy. I got a free meal at Wendy's for it. That's in the book too. And we were sitting there, and they were trying to decide what my gimmick was going to be. And during training, they had given me the name TLC, Tough Little Cunt. And that got brought up. And my brain immediately went to promo pictures. And I'm like, Tough Little Cunt. What kind of promo pictures that be? Mind you, I'm really, really young from a small town, not nearly as outspoken as I am now. I was like, I don't think that's the image I need to go for right now. I was always a tomboy, never wore makeup, I was like, I don't know about that one, maybe something else. And Chris Hero said, because I have naturally red hair and freckles. I'm pale freckles. I'm a ginger. All my kids are gingers. Amazing. But he thought about, because I had I've always had a big butt, to call me Lucky Bottoms. Once again, I go to thinking about promo pictures. I'm like, I don't think that's the way to go. And I was like, well, why don't we just go by my real name? And they were like, and Ian was like, what's your real name? I said, Mickie Knuckles. He's like, yeah, I like it. We'll run with it. I was like, okay. So 3 months later, we're in a hotel up in Wisconsin, and the other guys didn't have their IDs on them. So I go to give the front desk my ID to check into the rooms. And as I'm giving it to her, Ian sees my name on my ID and snatches it out of my hand. He's like, your real name's Mickie fucking Knuckles? And I was like, yeah. He's like, I thought you were working me all this time. And I was like, what, on my name? Like, nobody believed it was my real name for years. I had to show them my ID every place I went. Every time they try to buy a plane ticket, they're like, okay, we need your real name for the plane ticket. I'm like, Mickie Knuckles. They're like, no, not your ring name. Like, I'm an idiot. Sometimes I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I play along. I'm like, oh, so not the one I use when I come and go and wrestle, but the one I use in everyday life. They're like, yeah. I'm like, Mickie Knuckles. And, no. it's always met with a lot of resistance from people. So it's a fun time when they finally figure it out. Or they book the plane ticket and they expect to get a call from the airline the day of saying that they have to reprocess the plane ticket under a different name, like I'm just that stupid. And then I actually make it to where I'm supposed to go because the name's my name. And they're like,
has anyone thought that you changed your name to Mickie Knuckles and then
yeah.
Yeah.
The only time I've changed my name though is I got married and I didn't want to hyphenate because he didn't want to hyphenate. And I didn't want to lose it because if I dropped my last name, then somebody else could copyright it. And I'm like, fuck that. I was like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change my last name to my middle name, right? I was like, I'm trying to be smart about this, not even thinking about the whole thing. So I go to the Social Security office and I'm writing out my new name. And as I'm writing it out, my brain goes, holy shit, this sounds like a dirty porn name. And I'm looking at it, and the lady behind the desk, she's an older black female, and she's like, you need help with something? I said, no. I said, question, does this look like a porn name to you? And I flipped it around and showed her, and she read it, and she started laughing. I was like, fuck it. I already wrote it down. I'm not going back in line. We're good. That's my name now. So my full name was Mickie Knuckles Turner. And I was like, fist needs love,
Yes. Yeah, that's definitely.
I didn't even think about it. They were like, you did that on purpose. Like, no, I didn't even think about it. I was just like, I'll just put my last name as my middle name. It'll be fine. I'll drop the Lee. I've never liked the Lee. So I'll drop Mickie Lee Knuckles and go Mickie Knuckles Turner.
That's hilarious.
Match Moose Knuckles,
Oh, yeah. Time. Yeah, the Moose Knuckles I had found out about recently. That blew my mind. I was like, no shit. Because I was definitely into TNA during that time. It's like, I think one of those things that probably slipped by. And then it's like knowing you now as Mickie Knuckles, it's like, oh shit. You know what I mean?
Thing is, when I went to TNA, they didn't believe me it was my real name. Did not. When I went to go fill out the paperwork for the tax things and stuff, they were like, oh, your real name's Mickie Knuckles? Well, we can't copyright this. And I'm like, okay. And I'd already brought my green shorts that had the big M on one side, the big K on the other, and then brass knuckles on the butt. I get ready to go through the curtain. They're get ready to announce me, and all of a sudden I hear, and introducing Moose Knuckles. And I look over, there's somebody right there behind the curtain, guiding me out. I was like, is that somebody else? Is that me? Is that somebody else? That's not my, is that my name? And he's like, just go. I was like, dude, if I get in trouble, you're going down with me.
Right.
I walked through, like part of walking through, I was like, and when nobody came and corrected me, I was like, shit, that's my name. And they get halfway down the ramp, and I was like, Moose Knuckle, isn't that a male camel toe? Yeah, that's what it is.
I feel like it's like one of
these things. I don't even know.
It's like one of those things like back in the day, it's like people probably didn't even just like, oh yeah, whatever. It's just another wrestler. You know what I mean? Like they're, because I feel like back then, like there was so much shit that just people got away with, like doing, underlying things like the names and stuff like that. That I don't feel like would fly today as well as it did back then.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think some people might have something to say about it. And you know how that happens and what happens when people have things to say about things.
Yeah. And I know
like be a problem.
Even like TNA now, they like don't even do blood, I think, anymore. Like I think they stopped like recently, like put out some sort of like, I don't know, maybe it's just like a little work thing that they're doing, but I don't know. Is there one death match that stands out to you as one of your toughest or most brutal that you've had?
I had death matches. Some of them, are just my favorite for one reason or another. Doesn't make them my toughest or my best. The most recent of one of those would be the one with Nick Gage I just had with Wicked 13.
Mm-hmm.
Because one, we didn't really find out who was wrestling who in the second round until a few minutes before I went out. So I had learned, like, I think it was 10 minutes before I was going out to wrestle him. And with Nikki has this reputation of being a little unhinged. I love Nikki, don't get me wrong. Everything he stands for is amazing. Love it, adore it. But last time I was in the ring with Nikki before this, he got on a microphone and told me how proud he was of me and how he loved me. And I made a statement, trying to be respectful, saying, hey, You're somebody I've always looked up to. I would love to get in the ring against you one day just to see how I measure up to that measuring stick. You know, I did it the right way. Okay. I feel very entitled to the fact that I did this the right way. And the next thing I know, he gets back on the microphone and he says, "Fuck you, bitch. You're what's wrong with wrestling." And I went, "You taking your meds today, sir? Like, don't beat my ass just yet, because I'm still processing everything that just happened in the last 3 minutes. But holy shit, so you don't know what you're going to get with them. But you know, whatever it is, it's fucking nuts. You can't fight the rain, right? You can grab an umbrella and pray, but you can't fight it.
I think it also blew everyone's mind. That was y'all's first time locking up too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That was that talk about electricity. That'll be so, even though it was in the backyard of this house. These people were nice enough to have it in their backyard, but they have wrestling shows back there all the time, I guess, anyways. And there was people, like, good amount of people there, even as hot. I mean, it was so fucking hot. It was 102 without the heat index. You could, when me, Eric, Ryan, and Bobby Bever were like, man, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. That's how hot it is. Like, ugh. And then we went multiple rounds, but it was like, even through all that, it was the most intense electric feeling that I've ever had, being in the ring with somebody. And that could be because of Mickey's reputation. It could be because the people there were that fucking into it, because they didn't know until they heard Nick's music play. Like, I didn't say anything to them. They just said, okay, here's the first match of the second round. Cool. Boom. And then Mike came out, and everybody's like, all right, who's Mickey wrestling? And then Nick's music plays, and everybody lost their minds. I had to, like, stop, take a hit of a blunt. I said, I gotta calm myself down. I gotta think. They gotta be logical in this. This motherfucker is not logical.
Woosah for a moment.
Jeez, it was intense. I think I'll remember that feeling for the rest of my life. Hopefully, if I'm lucky enough.
That's badass.
We'll see how the head trauma works out in the end.
Maybe some CTE. We don't know.
Yeah, I stutter sometimes, but I just keep going.
Yeah.
If you want to redo the promo, I'm like, no.
Makes it a little bit more better, you know.
Sometimes my mouth runs faster than my brain. I'm sorry.
Do you approach hardcore crowds differently than you approach, like, traditional audiences?
Yeah. Because hardcore crowds, I'm expecting them not to be there to be, I don't know, reserved. You know, when you come to a deathmatch show or a hardcore, even if it's your first one, by the second or third match, if it's a good deathmatch hardcore show, by the second or third match, you're just as into it as everybody else.
Yeah,
like
you
can't help yourself. Yeah. You feel weird not being into it that much, because you really want to be, and everybody else is just doing it without you. But yeah, I approach them differently, just because you never know with the regular, you know, especially if it's somewhere new. If it's somewhere in a state you've never been in or a city you've never been in, you don't know how these people are going to react. I try to watch matches before mine just to get a feel for what they're into, what they might like. And even then, you know, you get some of these promotions that are such a young promotion, they haven't figured out their own kinks yet. So, like, different things, you're not biting with different people. Like, it's like a hit and a miss situation. Then you can't really gauge off of those matches. You're like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. Like, you have to get like a whole game set in your head. Where in death matches, I'm just like, okay, well, I'm going to have fun, and I'm going to do whatever feels fun and makes me laugh. If it cracks me up during a match, I'm doing a great job. Like, I try to make myself laugh at least 2 or 3 times in a death match by telling dirty jokes or whatever. It just comes naturally. I don't have a filter. It just bumbles out. Can't help it. But at least I'm in an appropriate space where I can get away with that. Can't really do that at parent-teacher conferences.
No.
You get looked at a little weird for those, but it's hard enough when my kids have shown all their teachers my YouTube videos, and I have to go to parent-teacher conference to discuss how they're doing in school. So totally different.
That's not fun.
No, it's short. I get there and I sit down and I'm like, all right, how they doing? They're like, oh, your kids are amazing. We have no complaints about them whatsoever. I'm like, uh-huh. They're like, we did, however, get to watch one of your matches recently. And I'm like,
about you.
okay, I'm sorry about that. I told him to stop doing it. She's like, no, it's educational, I guess. And I'm like, don't mess with my kids. That's what that means. That's exactly what that means. I got you.
Do you think that fans truly understand the toll that it takes on the body long term doing those types of matches?
If we're good enough at it, no.
That's true.
I mean, you look at somebody like Necro Butcher who's been through hell with his body. You know, he shattered. He didn't break his hip. He fucking shattered it. And he just got back from being over in the UK for CXW. You wouldn't tell that he's got hip pain or if he's not feeling well. You know, he had a bout with leukemia.
I was just saying, cancer too.
Yeah. They did not give him a good diagnosis, and he beat that. That man is true deathmatch through and through, as far as the amount of punishment he's taken and how he is today. Even if you watch him in the ring, tell me you notice the difference. He still goes as hard.
Yeah,
as he's ever
absolutely.
done. I mean, this man was doing superplexes from the top rope to the outside in Corrigan Hall for Japan. Yeah. And nightly. Fucking nightly. Fuck that. That's fucking insane. Like, we all do dumb shit, but that's fucking crazy. You know, you got Madman Pondo, who has been doing it for just as long as Necro and has done some stupid, insane bumps and still shows up and shows out. Like, if you're good at it. I mean, Tracy shattered his hip on a dive years ago, continued to wrestle. In the back, you know, you could see him kind of standing to one side so he didn't hurt his hip as bad, or sitting down or something. But when he got out in the ring,
couldn't tell.
He was perfect. It was beautiful. It was art. The good ones you'll never be able to notice. And that's our job. You're not supposed to, we don't want to drag you into the negative, any type of negative aspect of this business. That's why it kills me when people get wind of like some turmoil in the office of a company or beef between companies and stuff. I feel like it just completely hurts the viewer. It completely hurts the fan. It's not your job. It's not your job to carry our burdens. That's our job. You know, you don't just explain all your shit put your bullshit on us. That's not the exchange that we're supposed to have here. You shouldn't have to worry about the inside dealings and whether this, that, the other. But internet, people are nosy by nature.
Yeah, people get it twisted, I guess, and what should be, I guess, for performance, and then what they're putting out there.
On top of that, we're, like I tell my kids, we're just a different breed. It doesn't make us better. It doesn't make us worse. We're just different. Our bodies are just different. The way we're built, the way we go about life, I didn't think I was going to make it past 30, if I'm going to be 100% honest. Grateful that I did, because I had my kids very late in life. So, yeah, I'm happy that I waited on that too. But I think it would. I think maybe they would appreciate what we do a little bit more, but at the same time, I think it would negatively affect their viewing of it. If they humanize that to the point of feeling empathy, I feel like that's a certain extent that's just too much personal for you. Like, you don't have to do that. Like, when Superman became paralyzed, how many people, even though they knew he wasn't really Clark Kent and Superman, but how many people had that feeling of that empathy, of that sadness around this entity that was Superman? It's there. We try to avoid people knowing what our bodies go through if we can help it.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get way too fucked up and we can't help it anymore. But
yeah. You've taken time away from wrestling before, and a hiatus due to injury. Was it just due to injury, or personal reasons too, that you wanted to get away from the business, or I guess a mix of both?
Well, a couple times, I was pregnant. It's not really responsible to wrestle pregnant, pregnant twice. But the time in between, I went through a bad marriage. Terrible. Probably had no business getting married, to be honest. But we did make amazing kids. So it's an exchange. But during this marriage, there was a lot of mental warfare, manipulation, mind games, typical narcissistic abuse patterns I've learned through a lot of therapy on my end. And I was told I had to have a choice. I had to make a choice, whether I choose my family, which included my kids, or choose wrestling. And I chose my family because I felt like that was the choice that I had to make. I didn't realize that there was no choice that I had to make, that there was no reason why I couldn't do both other than somebody's feeling of inadequacies because they were a wrestler as well. And it took a long time after separating and after dealing with my own traumas and my own stress on that. And then I got diagnosed with PTSD. PTSD, but it's PTSD. It's all the same bag, just whatever. But it was more or less when I came back, I was at almost 300 pounds because I gained a lot of weight with all the depression and stuff and the lack of everything else. And I really wanted to do something for myself because I was in such a dark hole I couldn't crawl out of. And my kids were talking because when they were babies, when they were younger, I would take them in a playpen to these family-friendly shows I would do, and they'd be in the playpen by my gimmick table watching me wrestle. And they remember watching wrestling show matches, and when they were younger, before I started doing deathmatch heavy. And it became a topic of conversation to where they really encouraged me to go back. Told me, that they'd be happy if I went back. And then my friend Chrissy, she did the same thing. Told me I should start wrestling again and that I needed to do it for me this time. And since I've been back, it's been a whole brand new back. It's been a whole different person. It's not, I pretty much hit my fuck it stage. So I hit fuck it and just ran. So since I've been back, I feel like I've been better off. I feel like I had to go through certain things to come out on the other end, this whole different creature.
Forged through fire, almost, right?
Yeah. Sucks for a while, but you can get through it.
I was going to say, how difficult was it for you to step away, and what motivated you to come back? Obviously, the kids, and I guess.
When I announced I went away, I did it really quick in a Facebook Live, and then I shut down my Facebook immediately after. But I just went on Facebook Live and it upset me to the point of tears because this is something I'd always wanted when I was little. I met my ex-husband through wrestling, so I figured it was something I would continue to do. I had no plans to stop. And being put in that situation, I felt like the world was collapsing in, and I truly felt like I didn't deserve anything. I don't deserve to live my dream. I don't deserve to be happy. I don't deserve to try to excel at this thing. I don't deserve anything. It was being given to me, and that's where that imposter syndrome I told you about comes in. That's where that anxiety, that PTSD, that fight or flight moment really comes into play. It was upsetting. I mean, I cried. I don't like crying. I hate crying. Makes me feel grossed out by myself if I fucking cry. And I know it's not healthy, but I'm working on it. Okay. And then going to come back, I thought the world forgot about me. You're gone for a while. Wrestling goes on. And you think, well, I didn't do much to be an impact, so why would they remember? And I showed up, and the crowd was great. I think that night I did talk on the microphone, told them, look, I just got papers served to me for divorce 2 weeks ago. Thank you for making this worth something. So it was life-changing coming back. It was healing. This helped me to heal. Doing this seeing the fruits of any of my work or labors pay off in any form or faction. You know, being in Japan and getting the Dark to wrestle in an intergender match because I just went and did it, you know, and they were happy and stuff, and opening that door for her, or, you know, doing these deathmatch tournaments and trying to be one of the top ranked deathmatch tournament winners, bar not like men, women, doesn't fucking matter. Like I feel like this is helping me heal the other parts of me that feel so inadequate in life. You know, I feel inadequate as a mother a lot. I feel inadequate as a human being. I feel inadequate as a friend. I feel inadequate as a female. It just happens. It's always going to happen. I have something called dysthymia too, which is a learned mental disease. Basically, somebody you put up on pedestals or multiple people say a lot of bad things about you repetitively. And over time, your brain just automatically believes it. So you have to rewire yourself to believe that you're not a total piece of shit. And I struggle with that on a daily basis. Wrestling helps me with that. I'm grateful to wrestling. It doesn't owe me a fucking thing, but I'm very grateful to it.
So I can definitely, like I said, relate to the imposter syndrome. Do you feel like when you get to that fuck it stage, do you feel like that helps with that? You know what I mean? Be able to kind of put that aside, so to say, like when you feel like, oh fuck it, like it helps you kind of just not really think so much, because I think a lot of that is like when you're in your own head, you're thinking too much. And
I think I've got it so bad that like there's been matches, and after the matches, you know, like the one I had with Neil Diamond Cutter up at We Love Wrestling. Right after the match, he gets on the microphone and he says the L word. Hate being called the L word. Absolutely hate it. It makes me feel weird. It kicks me out of that moment. Like it makes me, I don't feel like wrestler Mickie at that moment, and I don't like it because then it gives me that anxiety of, oh my God, what am I doing here? It's like waking up with amnesia in a place you don't even know where the fuck you are half the time. That's the emotional feeling of it. And that's how bad I have it. During wrestling matches, before wrestling matches, I try to brush it off as much as I can. But in those weekend moments, you know, after a wrestling match, when you're starting to just come down off that adrenaline, and then they say it, and it's like a kick to the nads. I just don't like it. I try to brush it off, but a lot of times you'll see me just like I'll just look down and try to be in a totally different place at that moment, trying to get myself back. It's bad. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. So let's switch it up to CZW. After years of grinding, what did it mean to you to finally win CZW's Tournament of Death?
Overwhelming. I don't think even I believed it at first. I don't know. I was trying so hard, and then I had that shoulder injury. I got flipped over in a car. I got my face set on fire. I hate height, and there's a scaffold. I mean, it was a surreal moment. It went by like as soon as the bell rang, trophy was there, everything went by so slow. It was like a movie. It was like I just wanted to take it in as much as I possibly could. I never thought I would get anywhere near that, and then to come up short so many times, just nearly, finally just to pull it off. And then now, you know, that was just last year. So I'm going into this year's tournament thinking, okay, a couple of opportunities, because I like being first in a lot of things. I guess it's been my thing.
Here we are. Here we go.
There's a couple opportunities here. One, I tie at 10 deathmatch tournament wins right now with Matt Tremont. Yep, there you go. With Matt Tremont and with John Wayne Murdoch.
Oh yeah, here we go. Hey, we got yes.
If I can make number 11, not only number 11, but if I can make number 11 TOD win, and not only a TOD win, but a back-to-back TOD win on number 11, I feel like that earns me some bonus points or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be wrong, but that right there, like I never thought I'd be put in this position for that story. Like that's just how beautiful wrestling is that eventually you get to these moments, these pinnacle moments where you just feel how much like different, how much the weight is heavier on this. And then you look at the field. If you look at every person there, not one of them you doubt could take the whole fucking thing.
Oh yeah. It's definitely
I
stacked.
mean, we've got Nick Gage back at TOD. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh yeah.
You got Schlack, you got Ricky Shane Page, you got fucking Dredd, you got JJ Allen, which was in it last year, flipped me over a goddamn car. So I hope he knows he's got something coming. You got Eric Ryan, which I am telling you right now, Eric Ryan is fucking amazing. He's just so beautiful to watch in that ring. I like not wrestling him, just watching him. When I have to wrestle him, it kind of breaks my heart because sometimes you just gotta punch him in the fucking face. But to watch him work, chef's kiss. You know, and then of course you've got Akira, you got Drake Younger. I don't care who hears this. Listen, Drake is showing you all what he's worth. And every fucking match he's been having, I mean, if you watch they're fucking beautiful, man. I would be surprised if he pulled it out of his ass this year. And then we've got Hoodfoot. You know, I popped Hoodfoot's cherry in death matches.
Really? I did not know that.
Yep, for Flophouse. I was his very first death match. He said, I've never done this before. I said, I got you, kid. I got you. And now look at him. I mean, he's one of the top deathmatch guys in the world. And then you've got fucking Tim Strange. Tim Strange. Tim is definitely strange. I love Tim though. He's one of my favorite Brits. I have a group of friends that I tell everybody they're my Brits. I love my Brits. And you got Dimitri. I mean, I saw Dimitri the first time when I saw him was down in Texas for Loco Wrestling. And I've been all about this kid since. I mean he's not a kid. My bad. I'm sorry. Big person since. I feel like everybody's a kid because I feel old some days, especially when my kids drive me nuts. But I mean, it's an amazing fucking field. It's so there's like layers. It's like an onion. There's layers here of like the fucking significance of all of this. And that's just for me. That's not including everybody else in that fucking field. What they have riding on the line. What it means to them to fucking go to the finals or pull it out of their ass. So it's going to be crazy on the farm that day. That's for sure.
Now that you're going back, how are you preparing for this? September 6th.
Mm-hmm.
I will be there. Me and my wife will both be there. So we'll be holding it down for you.
Appreciate it.
Do you have any thoughts also on the tarp of death that will be happening?
See, if I ever heard an idea that so closely mimicked the Hunger Games.
Oh, yeah.
That's what this. As soon as somebody was explaining the concept to me, I was like, "So it's Hunger
That
Games."
makes sense. Yes.
It's Hunger Games with deathmatch weapons.
It's Hunger Games deathmatch wrestlers. Yes.
They should have a whole buffet of food somewhere nearby.
Yes.
You get this.
Oh my god! Now that you said that,
that would be amazing. But that's what I was like. I was like, wait, there's a tarp. They said, yes, there's a tarp. All the weapons are on the tarp. I said, every weapon that they get to use is all on this tarp in a pile. They said, yes. I said, okay. They said they all surround it in distance, and they have to, when they ring the bell, they have to run towards the tarp to grab their weapon of choice. And I went, Hunger Game.
100% CZW Hunger Game. Oh my god, that's hilarious.
That's hilarious. Like, holy shit. I said, these poor refs. I don't know.
It should be called Tarp of Death, and then an asterisk underneath of it, Hunger Game underneath of it.
Oh my god. Hunger Games edition.
Yeah, for sure. That's hilarious.
But like next year, you're gonna make them have to swim out to a buoy in the middle of the river. They're like, well, that's not a bad idea. It's like, once again, Hunger Games. You don't.
Well, did you see that recently? That clip that was going around with the ring that was out there on the buoys. That was
yes, I kind of want to do that. Is that wrong that I want to do that?
No. I think that it took the internet by storm because everybody was like, "Oh, I haven't seen that before."
Yeah, I like it when it started sinking, and they had to like hurry up and try to run up this fucking. And you can tell the mat is slick as shit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh my god, I want to do it.
I don't know where that was at, but that was hilarious. That definitely was all over the place for a minute.
Oh my gosh. I was like, that's awesome. First off, I have some questions. Where do they get the ring? What is it floating on? What kind of water is that? Is it creek water? Is it river water? Just tell me what type of water. Let me prepare for what little critters are in there.
Oh,
and I got you.
There's definitely something in there. Let's talk about POR. How did you first get connected with JJ Allen and the POR stunts crew?
I met JJ through an XPW show, I believe.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Don't mark my words on that. I could be wrong. Head trauma, smoke weed. A good combo. But I met him at a wrestling show, and we just clicked. JJ's a pretty cool guy. I like hanging out with him. He said, talk to me about his stunt group, and stuff, and then said that he had a company down in Virginia, but it's like a backyard setting. I was like, that's my jam, buddy. I was originally from the backyard. I got you. And I was like, well, I can come and check it out. And I fell in love with it. I just did. I don't know why. It's my mental health booking. I love being at POR. The crowd is great. It's grown exponentially since I've started there. The setup is exactly what you would think a backyard. I mean, we get dressed in a school bus. That's pretty fun. Except for when bees are in there. We got to make sure we have, because they like to build nests in there. There's nothing more scary than pulling down your pants to get changed. There's nothing more scary than pulling down your pants to get changed, to being bent over and look over and you see a whole hornet's nest right there. And you're like,
oh my God.
I'm going to move my bag. But it's very suiting for there. But they are getting ready to run this new place. I'll have to send you the info. But it's at a weed dispensary, I think.
Oh, I'm already on top of it. Check this out. Hey, it's in Winchester, Virginia.
Yep.
We're already on top of it.
There you go.
Yep, you gotta be a part of the POR street team on Facebook to get the DM for the address for that one. So, but it will be in Winchester. I guess will that be your first time performing in Winchester that you know of?
I don't know. Maybe, probably.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound familiar, but
it's not too far.
It'll be a fun time.
Yeah, it's not too far from the other place, so it'll definitely be a good time. Looking forward to it.
Plenty of parking at this place supposedly, so that'll be fine. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it's definitely big. I've been down there twice.
I freaking love POR.
Yeah. That's what I said. So like I said, I've been a fan of Deathmatch for a long time, but like it's really been this past year or so that I've really started to get to go. Like, went to a few GCWs and I got to go to POR this year. So that was like my first oh shit, like you said, like when you get to experience it live, it's completely different. And like you said, by the first one or two, like you already settled in and the vibe and what the deal is, so it's like you said, like exactly how you said, like you just got hooked. It was exactly like that. I was like, oh, this is only an hour away from my house. Okay, like I'll be coming to everyone that I can make it to.
Crazy. We get called crazy by Europe, by England, by UK. We get called crazy. You want to know why? Not for any of the crazy shit we actually do, but because apparently driving an hour to anywhere is absolutely absurd and unheard of. They think that's just way too far, way too long, and I'm like, bro, I've done
hour and a half is like just a quick drive. Sometimes I can make that. You know what I mean? 3 hours. You know what I mean? That's like okay, whatever. 4 hour. Whatever. But it's like
on normal, I drive anywhere from 6 to 7 hours to go to CZW. I drive 14 hours. I went to Boston, Massachusetts for JCW shows once and drove 34 hours round trip because I had to go through 2 fucking blizzards in the mountains. That sucked. I've drove to Florida, which is like 14 hours from where I live. Atlanta, Georgia, I just went to this weekend, drove 6.5 hours to get home, drove 7.5 hours to get to Memphis before that, and then had to drive from Memphis, Tennessee to Atlanta, Georgia. It's just
I think
they
they
cannot
must not realize how big the states are then, because it's like
no, they don't. They don't.
it's like
it's amusing. It's cute.
It's like,
They're like, oh, I got to get up early. We got to go to the show tomorrow. I'm like, oh yeah, how far
How
away is
far?
the show? Hour and a half. And I went, how
It's
early
like,
are you
what?
getting up? What time
Like,
is call
what?
time?
Like, I'll
The
push
8
that
o'clock
right to the
p.m.
limit.
show?
Hour and a
No,
half, that's
sir.
nothing. I could probably make that in less time, honestly.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. Oh, that's the other thing too. They think we drive like they're like, because we try. They say it's because we try to beat the GPS, which I do beat the GPS.
Yeah, me too.
If I start going somewhere and GPS says I'm going to be there at 11:40, I know I can cut that down to 11 o'clock if I wanted to.
Yeah, yeah,
They think
yeah.
I'm nuts. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
But I get us there safely and soundly.
That's hilarious, though. It's definitely the geographic landscape. They don't have as much terrain to cover.
Well,
So
they go an hour and they're in a different country.
true. That's what's
And then,
also weird about. That's what's also so weird about it. It's like, to them, like, countries are like states to us.
Yeah.
It's somewhat. So it's like, and I guess they are in somewhat, but it's not that big, that much of a difference over there. It could be like, you're speaking a completely different language, just going an hour and a half over or 2 hours over. It's like, what?
I mean,
That's what.
Yeah, they think we're nuts.
Do you think that there was a shared mentality, though, between the POR stunts crew and, like, say, like the wrestling community, like the hardcore community? Like as far as like you, like, coming into like their landscape of how they do things there, and you coming strictly from like a wrestling deathmatch background, it's a little bit different there. I would say it's a little bit. I just say it's a different type of mix, because they have the crazy stunts too. So it's just a different vibe. I wouldn't say it's a different thing, but just a different type of vibe there. I think that the mindset.
If you think about it, though, deathmatch wrestling is basically stunts.
True.
We just have a story with ours. So once you understand that concept, that wrestling is the story. Like, what is wrestling? Wrestling is the story. Well,
True.
you can deathmatch wrestling is the story. The only difference between stunts and deathmatch wrestling is the story. Like, I think that those crowd members were willing to accept that story because they've been so entertained by the stunts. Does that make sense? So now to have a rhyme to a reason. I mean, I didn't feel like there was any resistance at all, and actually, I feel like it's helped them grow exponentially. The fan base is built up. I mean, originally it wasn't that many, and I think the last show he said it was the most they've ever drawn.
Yeah.
That word. It's the most they ever had in attendance. So it's getting bigger exponentially each show. And I don't think there was much resistance to it. It makes it harder because there's like a little moat. It's a little thing kind of dividing the crowd from the ring. So it makes it a little harder to kind of communicate with them a little bit. Sometimes the mic doesn't reach all the way to the ring if it's on a cord. And then you have to go down that hill. I almost bust my ass on that hill every fucking time. I know one day I'm just gonna slide. I feel like I should just sit down and slide down the hill next time we have to wrestle on a rainy day there.
I'm sure you took a few. I'm sure you took a few dips in that moat / creek water. No, you're not going in the water, right?
No.
I've seen a couple. I think Beastman or somebody went in there the last time I was there. I was like, ugh. I know that's nasty.
Have you seen what they wear, and have you seen what I wear?
Yeah.
I have a thong on, sir.
Yeah. You don't want anything going up there.
I have wardrobe malfunctions as a norm. Okay.
Yeah.
IWTV and Triller owes me extra money for those views. Okay. Listen, I don't want to go in a poison ivy moat with God knows what and get that anywhere in that region. You mess with my listen, I'm 40. I don't have a lot of things that bring me joy. Wrestling and sex are two of those things. And if I have to take time away from wrestling and sex because I have poison ivy all in my vagina and all up in my body because I don't wear anything when I wrestle, I'm gonna be a little hard. I'm gonna be a little upset, be a little cranky. And it will not be a good Mickie for people to be around. Just saying. I'm protecting the world by not doing that, if we think about it. Because the first time I have to come back there and wrestle after surviving that fucking mess is going to be a nightmare. It's just going to be terrible. I'm going to pull up every inch of poison ivy and shove it down somebody's pants. That's what's going to happen. Somebody else is going to feel my pain. Do not make me do it.
Don't make me do it.
Just don't. I'm warning you. That's where my brain goes when I get mad. Don't do it. I'm trapped.
Is there anything that we can expect from you for the upcoming show on the 31st?
The show on the 31st for POR?
Yeah.
I mean, what you normally expect. I'm a 14-year-old boy in a 41-year-old woman's body. I think dick and ball jokes are hysterical. Fart and poop jokes, awesome. That's what you get.
It'll be 1 week before TOD. Is there any? Is that how you're kind of getting the kinks out before you enter the tournament?
That's just pure fun. That's just me building up my own self. That's me doing what I need to do there to kind of hype myself up for what I need to do elsewhere. Yeah, there I am.
My wife actually took these pictures. I'll send them to you after this, so you can have them as well. But just a couple shots at the POR compound. There's Tarzan.
Yep. Fun fact: he has in that you can see he's got a boot on his foot. He did something to his Achilles. So
he had
the fact that we had that match while his legs in a boot, that I was really kind of proud. I was like,
he's been wrestling the past few months like that, which is wild. It's like, damn, dude.
Well, you do or you don't, you know?
Yeah, you got that right.
Doctors, what do they know?
Yeah, I know. I know you're a fan of cannabis, and what are some of your favorite strains that you have? And do you really prefer sativas and blunts?
Yeah, sativas definitely. Indicas make me tired.
Okay.
I fucked up one time. I was on a trip, and normally I could smoke and drink a whole bunch of energy drinks, and I am gravy to drive 14 hours by myself. I do it all the time. This time though, smoked, ate some food, got an energy drink. 30 minutes down the road, yawning. It was terrible yawning. Couldn't keep my eyes open. What's wrong? I thought I was having blood sugar issues or something. I was like, no, I hate today. Like trying to figure it out. It was because somebody gave me indica, and I was like, that's why I buy stuff from dispensaries. I know exactly what's in it. I can't have citrus weeds. Yeah, they cause migraines. I learned that a few years ago, and it's been.
I stay away from them too, like the lemons and like the oranges or anything that's like that.
It gives me a migraine,
especially the lemon.
Yeah,
I guess it's got like high limonene or something in there, like one of the terps that I don't know. Yeah,
I like the OGs. I like the purple kush. That was a nice high when I was out in California.
Is it true you don't like joint papers?
I don't like papers. I don't know. I don't like. So I don't like the taste of papers. It's weird.
Okay.
But when I was in Amsterdam, they have these clear flavored papers. I haven't been able to find them that specific brand anywhere here.
You said the clear ones.
But yeah, they're clear and they're flavored. But it was a specific brand. There's no direct aftertaste. It's a nice subtle taste. It doesn't overpower the weed, and you don't even. It's like you're smoking just weed. Like there's nothing there. White with the papers, I can taste the paper. Like, and I think it's also too because back when I was really, really poor, I would use a receipt paper. Totally terrible for you. Don't do it. I would not suggest it.
That's what's done it for you then.
I can't. I just can't. It gives me flashbacks.
It's sparking the memories of the receipt paper. That's what you're thinking you're smoking when you're.
It very well could be. I mean.
Yeah. That's funny though.
So gross. The funny story is I can't smoke nicotine. My body doesn't like nicotine.
How does the Rellos don't mess with you though?
Oh no, they do. As you can hear, my voice is getting raspier, but I like Rillos, so it's like.
See, that's why I had to get off. I was on the blunts heavy too. I was on Dutch Masters really bad, and
Dutch Masters. I don't do the Rillos that you have to gut.
You don't like those?
I don't do those.
You just like wraps.
Yes.
Okay.
I just get wraps. So the nicotine
have
level
you
is
had the
not as
king
bad.
palms? King palms?
Huh?
They're called king palms. They're like
No.
how
Elite.
you know how like the raw cones where you can just fill it. They're blunts, but you just pre-fill them. But they
Is it
have
a
like
leaf? Because it sounds like it's a leaf.
it is a leaf.
I don't.
You don't like
I will do rose petals though. Eric Ryan got me on rose petals.
I've seen
Those,
those. You
those are
like
pretty
that?
good. I like that. That was smooth. I like that.
Okay.
But I wouldn't do it all
Okay.
the time. But I like it. If I want to feel fancy, I'll do it. But
Yeah, I had to get off the blunts because they a couple years ago they found a blood clot in my lung and I was like, oh my god. And yeah, and then the thing is like they were like, oh, nicotine, tobacco, anything like that is super bad for it. So I just like had to like wean myself off and then went to the
yeah.
joints and then but it's like every once in a while like someone will have one. I'm like, oh, I might have to take a toke off that little bad boy. You know what I'm saying?
Like my
But
voice will get raspier. It'll get so bad I sound like Bobby from King of the Hill.
yeah,
Oh yeah. They have me say the lines of like, that's my purse. And I don't know you. But my voice gets really raspy. It sounds just like that kid. And I was like, yeah, I'll take it. Whatever. But I don't know. I've always liked raps. I can roll a rap with one hand. So it's just always been that familiar to me. Papers. I used to do papers back in the day, but like I said, eventually I think it might have been the receipt thing. That was a bad idea. I've made some bongs out of some questionable things before out of necessity. I don't really like bowls because of that, because the hit is so weird with certain bowls. Like you'll go to hit a bowl and thinking it's going to be an easy hit. It's a dense hit. And you're stuck
It's
in,
like
and the next
people
you
that
know,
have metal bowls. Like I will never smoke out of a metal bowl. No,
I don't like the taste of them.
I really usually don't even smoke out of other people's bowls in general. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: if I have something and I'm smoking it, and other people are passing around something else, and I haven't shared mine, and they just walk up, I'm not gonna take what you all are passing around because I feel like that would be just rude. Like I brought my own. You all came up on me, try to give it off. You're like, no, I'm gonna like this one. I'm like, okay, you prefer that over mine? That's fine. I don't like papers anyway, so I'm like, especially the cones, they run so bad. The papers just run so terribly. Where like on this side it's down to here, on this side it's up to here, and you're like, how do I fucking fix this shit? There's no way to fix it. So I just don't. I don't know. I'm just snobby, I guess.
No, it's all preference. It's all preference. And I think it's all routine too. You know what I mean? Because rolling up, breaking it down, all that, grinding it up, it's all that goes into the whole experience. You know what I mean? It isn't just smoking it, and just the feeling. It's everything that goes into it. Buying it, everything.
Well,
so it's
my other issue is because I found out through a lot of that trauma and that stuff that I have issues with. I have oral fixation problem. Read into that what you will, but that's why a lot of females or a lot of people who have really bad depression, if they have oral fixation as well, that's like a comfort, like eating.
smoking.
And so if you replace it with smoking or dick, that's not as many calories. Lost 100 pounds that way. I told you when I went through divorce, it was a celibate couple of years. It was very weird ass marriage. Not by my end. No woman should ever have to beg to give a blowjob. I'm just throwing it out there. Okay. On that note, the day that I decided to officially move on, it's been a nice experience. I saw Colt Cabana at a WrestleMania a couple years ago in Philly, and he's like, "Mickie, you look good. You look like you lost weight." I was like, "I have." He's like, "Is this the new diet?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." He's like, "Yeah, what is it?" And I was like, "Oh, I just replaced food with dick." And he didn't talk to me the rest of the time. He just looked at me. No, he just looked at me like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And I was like, "You asked. I don't care. There's people around. You asked. I'm gonna be honest."
You asked for it.
When I wrestled him, we were in the back. He's like, "Whatever. Do whatever you want." And I was like, "You're gonna tell me to do whatever I want?" Okay. I said, "I remember you when I was 18, buddy. Here we go." I make people so uncomfortable sometimes. It's so fun.
Do you think that how does cannabis help you recover after a match?
That's what?
How does cannabis help you recover after a match? Is it your go-to? Because I know that when I was at the last POR, I think I guess your sister Christina she was talking to my wife, and you came right over. She's like, "Oh, I gotta go roll her up a blunt. I gotta get her a blunt ready right now." Is that like something that helps you?
It helps
You
with
know,
the adrenaline drop.
okay.
It helps even you out with the adrenaline drop. Especially since I usually don't eat before I wrestle. Just a habit. I don't want anything. I don't want to take the possibility of throwing up on
Throw it up.
somebody.
Yeah.
That's one of my 5 hard no's in life and sex is vomit. No, thank you. Yeah. Anyways, it helps with that adrenaline release. And then if you do have like a bad cut or something, kind of helps just calm you down a little bit, just to kind of evaluate the situation. Especially when you're younger in the business. But more so it's for that. Or at that point, I think that was either the 3rd or 4th death match I'd done in 2 or 3 days. Because I do a lot of multiple weekend shots. Especially tournament season, which is right now, and try to do as many matches as possible. So it helps with that, especially because the sativa, it helps with that fatigue. It gives you a little bit more energy, a little bit more of a calming focus. So it really, actually, I use weed more so with podcasts, especially podcasts that discuss really, really sensitive topics, because with writing this book, I don't know why mentally I didn't prepare myself that I was going to have to do these podcasts and talk about what was in the book. Even writing the book, I was having anxiety when we would go to discuss certain events to get more clarification on things, me and Jason. And so, like the first podcast I did to promote this book, I had an active anxiety attack in the middle of the podcast. And my anxiety attack's like it feels like I'm in the moment that I'm describing. If I know, even though I know I'm physically not, it feels like I am. It's hard to describe. And so I forget everything else that's going on, including the question, and kind of zone out. And a lot of times, like I'll touch here, you'll see me do this, and this is just me trying to calm myself down. It's like a habit thing, but yeah, like I usually help. It helps when I smoke with those subjects because it helps maintain the now instead of reliving the trauma.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of your book, I recently ordered it. I haven't got a chance to read the whole thing. I only went right for one part, which was Axel Rotten. Reason being is because I knew him. He was friends with my dad. My dad was also a worker in the business. He would come over our house all the time and hang out, tell stories, all kind of stuff. You spent some time in Baltimore, I guess, with him. Did you spend time in the wrestling scene in Baltimore at all?
No, it wasn't Baltimore. We lived in Louisville.
Okay, but
he had moved in with us because things weren't going so well for him. This was towards the middle part of IWA when we lived up in when we lived in Louisville, and then when we moved up to Chicago. He moved in with us 2 times actually, but he came around a lot even when I first started training. I trained in Indiana, and so when we would go and do shows at the ECW arena, Ian had family in Baltimore. That's where he met Axel. So we would go through and stay with his family in Baltimore, save a hotel trip, or for him to visit his family members and stuff like that, and hang out with them there too. But mostly when Axel was around, it was when we were at IWA or at a show or something.
Okay. Yeah. See, that's I had read that where you I guess you went to pick him up or something. That would make sense. Or you stayed over. That would make sense. That's what I was like. I wasn't sure if you had much of a wrestling roots in the scene in Baltimore at all, because that's where I'm from. So that's why I didn't. I was like, oh,
I don't want to deal with that athletic commission. I already have to deal with Kentucky.
True.
I don't want to deal with it.
I was just talking about that with Bob Starr. He wrestled in WCW, WWF, and he's from the Maryland area. And he knew Lou Levy, which was the main guy for the Maryland Athletic Commission, and how they used to enforce things. And it's a whole ordeal.
Yeah.
But, what did Axel mean to you personally, and how important was he as a genuine friend outside of the ring?
Axel was great. Axel was a blessing to be around. I mean, he had his demons. We all know about him. But Axel would literally give you the shirt off his back. he was such a nice soul. Him and Balls Mahoney were. I've never had a bad interaction with either one of them. But Axel was also like, there was a couple of times I would be getting in trouble, or Ian would just be going off on me for one reason or another, just completely being a dick. And Axel would stand in and be like, "Look, you gotta stop. You know, she's doing it best." I took Axel one time to get his hair cut. And because it took so long, because, you know, he was on a waiting list, we went to the mall. That's where he wanted to go. And by the time I got back, the ring truck wasn't loaded, because apparently I was the only one that could ever load the ring truck. And we had to go to the show. I had to set up the ring and stuff like that. I got completely just verbally assaulted, like obliterated, in front of all the wrestlers that were staying at the house that weekend. And Axel was the one who was like, "Hey, you know, calming Ian down, telling Ian to shut the fuck up," things like that. Really sticking up for me. Axel was just that type of person.
Yeah.
He was a sweet guy. Like, he was genuinely a nice guy. But at the same time, if things were going, you know, or had to go down, Axel was a good one to have in your corner.
Oh yeah, he was definitely a ride or die type of guy, and you know, people always talk about what a great friend he was and how loyal he was, and like you said, genuine is a great word to describe him. I mean, like I said, I remember him coming over to the house and just telling Rocky, like doing Rocky Balboa impersonations and stuff like that. It's like, what is going on here? This guy, you know what I mean, is like, you know, he's like one of those like larger than life type of guys almost in some sort of way, you know. But you know, sucks that, you, like you said, has demons, and you know, yeah, unfortunate how the end of his life went, but yeah. So you've held championships, you've won tournaments, and you've said the biggest title is being mom. How has motherhood changed your perspective on wrestling and life?
It gave me more of a purpose in wrestling, you know, to know that my kids, you know, just like any children, are automatically going to have a disadvantage in anything they want to go do for one reason or another. Whether it's because more of a boy thing and she's a girl, or if it's more of a girl thing, he's a boy. Like, just things like that. And, you know, I've always tried to be as honest and open with my kids as I am with everybody else. Maybe not to the degree I am with everybody else, because, you know, they're still children. We need to be appropriate. When they get old enough, I'm sure they will figure it all out. I had to promise them that they would not read this book until they're at least 16, because I don't want to answer questions.
Yeah.
They're too young. They're too young. So that's the deal we made. But it's really given me more of a purpose on what I'm doing. It's not just for me, you know, and by transaction, I guess it's not just for them either. It's for all the little kids. Like, they've made me think about it in a perspective of the future outcome of hopefully somebody's story that can be saved or salvaged, or somebody can feel like they can do what they truly want to do despite being told they can't, because there's evidence to prove that you can. Like, it's just, it's not a pretty story. It's not a perfect trail. I mean, it's going to be damn near hard to fucking keep going at it, but I'm going to do it. It's just, I want to be able to look my kids in the eye when I tell them you truly can do anything you want to do. They know I mean it, and I'm 100% flesh out honest with them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's nothing more that you could want than that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, your new book, it's now available on Amazon. What can fans expect from it, and what made you decide to this time to tell your story in book form? And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't purchased it already. The green screen's messing it up. Oh no. But yeah.
It's very raw. It's very there. There's a lot about me in there. I'm pretty open, pretty naked in that book, as far as my life story, things I've gone through, things that years ago I would be too ashamed to say out loud or even admit. And now it's to the point of in order for you to understand why I am the way I am, because I get asked all the time, why do you do this? What makes you want to do this? What type of life do you have to lead and do, this other lifestyle and da, da, da. Why did you choose to do this instead of that? Why did you choose to stay here and endure instead of leave and try to do it on your own? This gives you the whole entire story. When I was first talking to Jason and we were talking about a book, he is an English teacher from Virginia. And he reached out to me, and I guess he had heard a podcast or an interview I did. And he's like, you got a lot of interesting stories. Have you ever thought about doing a book? And at first I said no, but after talking to the kids and stuff and realizing that maybe it could help somebody somewhere else, I was like, all right, well, let's try it. And where do you really start a story like that? Because in order to explain the person I am and the character I've become in wrestling, kind of have to understand where I came from, like the whole background. And you can't just start in the middle, because you start in the middle, people are still not going to understand the fucked up situation. My whole life's been one fucked up situation after another. I really truly realized how sad my story was when we started writing this out. And I was like, oh, damn. Oh, well, here we are. I'm pretty happy now. So, but it's going to be, there's going to be moments that might make you feel a little uncomfortable. And I'm sorry. There's going to be other moments you're going to say, I can't believe she put that in here. I did. It's not everything bad. And there are some good spots in it. But some of it's questions that I had been asked about time and time again. And instead of consistently answering that question, why not put it in written form so I can be like, look, it's in the book. Just go get the book. Like, I don't tell you. But by the end of it, I would hope you would feel a little more connected to me. I mean, or at least someone that could be like, all right, well, this is the shit she put up with, and I don't want to do that, so I'll do this over here, follow a completely different path. Whatever way I influence your life, hopefully it's positive if I influence it at all. Yeah.
That's what I always say. That one person, that's, you know what I mean? If it helps them or changes whatever trajectory or whatever they're going through and in some positive way, it was worth it. You know what I mean? So yeah, you can definitely get the book. It's on Amazon. Here it is again. Also, I want to end with this last one. My wife wanted to know, have you signed any copies of the book yet?
Have I signed any copies? Yes.
Okay.
This past weekend, people had copies.
Nice.
I'm still waiting on my bulk order. Hopefully I'll get that soon. And I've got a limited edition run of t-shirts that I'm getting. I think the maker only made 50. He's selling 50 on his site, or 25 on his site, and giving me 25 to sell in person. But it's a limited edition design.
Is that the I Hate Artist guy?
Yes.
Seen him post the other day, but I haven't seen the design yet. I was like, oh, I'm curious to see how that turns out, because I got the
it's really good.
The JJ one that he did. I got that shirt from him. So will that be out soon, that shirt?
Yeah, it should be. He just sent me a message saying he's printing them up this week, and he'll be sending them out this weekend. So I should have them for TOD too. So
okay, so you'll have them maybe for POR, but definitely for TOD, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Definitely
I'm
have to
hoping
grab
for
one from
POR.
you there.
Just depends on shipping, but and then the books, hopefully I have those too, because I got a bulk order for those.
Well, we'll have to definitely have to snag one of those. But I appreciate you for coming on. Let the people know where they can find you, what you have coming up. We have POR coming up on the 31st of August, CZW Tournament of Death coming up on September 6th. If there's any other events that you have coming up, please let the people know.
I'm going to the UK, baby. I love it. Going I've got actually 4 deathmatch tournaments coming up soon, and 3 of them are international, but I'm not going to tell you just yet which ones.
Damn.
So,
okay.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm praying number 11's TOD, but if not, that just fuels me for the international ones, because I feel like an international deathmatch tournament win is heavier than the States win. You know what I mean? Like an American winning an international, especially American female winning an international deathmatch tournament.
That's big.
So I was like, okay, look, it's my backup plan, but full go is TOD coming ahead. So
yeah, definitely excited for that. But Mickie Knuckles, this is your handle here. Do you have any platforms, Instagram, anywhere that they can find you other than that?
It's the same under Instagram as it is on Facebook. I don't have Twitter. I kind of deleted that account. I don't know what it is about people on Twitter, but holy shit, guys.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's fucking mayhem. I'm like, dude, why are you so angry? Why are you so mad at me? Just tell me what did I do wrong? If I did it wrong, I'll apologize. I'm sorry. I offended you in such a manner. But holy shit, I had one person send me a message, and I'll let you go after this. One person sent me a message. It was so fucking confusing. The first two messages were, "I hope you get a blood clot and die one day, you dumb bitch." Another one said that I should quit wrestling and life in general, and that I'm a piece of shit. And I went, agreed. That's all I said. Agreed. The very next message he sent was, "Well, okay. I hope you have a good day. And if you ever need 10 inches, hit me up." And I went,
what? Yeah, that's another thing.
Want to fight me to fuck me. I don't know. There's
weirdos
for me.
Yeah, weirdos everywhere, and that's just like also I forgot to mention. I've seen your stories with the where it's like
NGLs. I freaking love that thing.
The anonymous. I was like, oh my god, the weirdos come out of the woodwork.
Dude, I don't even post the weirdest ones because I don't think I can. I think I'll get flagged or something. I'm like, it's a random ass question.
I was like, I feel sorry for you sometimes with some of the stuff. I was like, oh god.
I get a lot of people want me on OnlyFans. I had one person ask me if somebody's put a finger in me while I wrestle. I said,
"Oh my god,
bro!" I did answer that one. I said, "Bro, I'm gonna tell you right now. Anything goes anywhere inside of me, it is now my property and it's coming with me. That's how that's gonna work. They want to lose that finger, sure, go right ahead, see what happens.
Right ahead.
What's inside of me? That's 9/10 of the law. Possession is not. It's possessing inside of me. That's mine.
That's Mickey. That's Mickey's now.
It's mine now. Whether I gotta bite it off or chop it off, it's staying with me. That's how this is going. I don't think anybody's brave enough to do that. But now I say that somebody out there is going to get the balls and the gumption to probably try to do that, and it's going to be a fun day for me. I love those challenges.
All the wild turns that could happen in the wrestling world, right?
Well, there's nothing like an Aunt Mickey party live. It's different, like you said, from watching on video to being there live.
Yep.
It's a totally different creature.
1,000%. 1,000%.
It's a good time live, though. I gotta say, I won't say very many good things, but I have a good time. I laugh.
Yeah.
I think I'm better off for it. So I'm like, yeah, if I'm having a good time, hopefully other people are having a good time. But it's very different.
I love it. I have a great time, and anyone that hasn't been, if you can make it, check it out. Try to come to POR, try to come to CZW, or any other event that you see Mickey at, or just Deathmatch Wrestling in general. Check it out. I thank you for coming on, Mickey. It's been your boy Younglurch, and it's been Mickie Knuckles. Thank you for joining the Bingohall.
Bye.
Peace.